Hello everyone, I am back, this time taking a look at a game called I Am Future. This game got my attention a while back when it was featured on, I think, Steam's Next Fest. I took a look at the demo and it's out now in early access as of yesterday. And I've been playing around a little bit I probably played it for about 2 hours at this point. And I've been rather enjoying my time there. I think in some ways it's similar to Tectonica in a very, very surface way. But I think in general, people that like these sorts of survival building games will probably enjoy this one. Although the caveat is this is early access, there are some things that are still not in the game. So it may be that if the developer stops supporting the game, then obviously this is not going to go anywhere. But for now, this seems really interesting. The reason I say it's like Tectonica because there's no automation as far as I can tell, so that's not at all the same. But it is the same in the sense that it's a survival game where you have to interact with the story to make progress. And I realize that Tectonica is not a traditional survival game, but it's kind of presented that way as far as the story is concerned. In any case, so yeah, you play as a guy that wakes up from a cryo sleep, and of course, just like a lot of games, he doesn't remember who he is or why he's there. He doesn't know where he is, but obviously he knows something. He's able to disassemble machinery and is able to assemble things, and he can create blueprints and otherwise, make changes to the environment. So as you start off, you're just kind of getting the feel for how things are. One thing that is very different from a lot of these games, which was kind of throwing me off for the first, I don't know, 2 minutes, so really it wasn't that big of an issue, is that I would click on something and my character would say basically, "Oh, I'm too far," and it was really throwing me off because I am so not used to having to manually walk someplace in these games, because usually you just click someplace and your character goes there. But in this game, you have to manually walk there, and then once you're in range, you can interact with the object, which was kind of funny. It amused me how different it felt from other games that looked like this. In any case, once I was over that, it's totally fine, and you just get used to it within a couple of minutes. And yeah, so you just start off like in a lot of these where you're just collecting things, and eventually you meet up with, basically an AI that teaches you, gives you some goals, and as you start discovering things, you unlock more goals. You see there's a notepad up there on the upper right, there's my tasks, and as you unlock things, you get more tasks that kind of remind you of the things you haven't done yet that are possible. You have a tool on your right hand, which is basically cybernetic, and there you can replace what tool you're using, and so different tools are used for different things. So you have like the actual hand for disassembling things. You have a saw for ripping things apart, and there's a drill as well. From plants, and the other interesting things is that there is some sort of an enemy type. There are basically these plants that when you get close to them, they start emitting a gas that will do damage to your character, and you can't remove until later in the game. At night, these plants will spawn in these little worms, and the worms will go after energy sources and damage them, and they will also eat plants if they get to them. So if you are growing any veggies, you have to be on alert to make sure that they don't get to them. But honestly, as long as you are paying attention, this is not really difficult at all, at least at the start of the game. So far, it's just been like you just gotta pay attention to it, and it's easy to manage. And this only happens at night, right? So at nighttime, you have to watch out for the worms. During the daytime, you can go around removing plants and whatnot. Um, there is some sort of relationship between any worms that are left over and plants that spawn. It seems that if you don't take care of the worms, then there's more plants that spawn later during the day. So basically, the problem will get worse and worse. But like I said, you just gotta keep up with it. It's very easy, and also it gives you resources that you need to progress anyways. So there is a reason beyond just defense to do it. In any case, I found it interesting because it's a little bit of a way of breaking up the otherwise super cozy, super chill progression where you just kind of go at your own pace. Um, Really, the pressure from defending from the worms was not enough to keep me from just taking it easy and trying to figure things out and thinking about what the next step was. I didn't feel like I was rushed into anything. So yeah, this felt pretty chill. Definitely easygoing. Um, it feels like there's going to be a lot of machinery that you eventually start putting into this space. Most of it is locked behind upgrades initially. So in the first hour or two, I really haven't built too many things in this space yet. Um, but you're still kind of getting around to clearing everything. I am, however, at the point where I already have a lot of resources, and you're going to have to start to think of storage. Um, as soon as you start to get enough resources, you should build a place to store things and whatnot. Um, One of the nice little things they have is that all of the tools that you use have storage space built into them, so you can actually dump resources directly onto like the workbench, for example. Keep a lot of stuff in there. And at the beginning, it's really nice just because it lets you use them instead of having to build additional storage chests, which both take up space and also you use up your resources to build. Initially, in particular, the resource that is very scant, rare, hard to come by, are the metal sheets. There's only like I think two that are immediately available, and I think have to explore to even find more. But as soon as you get the first upgrade to your saw, you'll be able to cut apart the steel barrels, and that will give you more metal sheets. So that becomes less of an issue relatively quick. But initially, because those are used for the storage crates, you kind of don't want to be building too many of them because you do need metal sheets for other things. So yeah, overall, I really like the look of the game. It's sort of unrealistic, sort of stylized, cartoony look. It's very saturated and bright, and then of course it gets sort of blue and dark at night. I'm really enjoying how it looks overall. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I think they've done a great job of keeping it kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent. Yeah, it's consistent throughout. It all sort of looks great together. You're never thrown off by the look of something. It's I think they did a great job there. As far as the interface, it's a little bit clunky to find things. One of the things that was throwing me off initially was how to upgrade my workbench. But if you look carefully, actually at the very bottom of a lot of the menus, there's actually a tab that says Upgrade Structure that's grayed out in yellow, and that's where you have to go to do your upgrades. It actually works differently from construction of anything else because you have to have the material in your own inventory. You cannot be stored in the workbench storage. Just to use that workbench as an example. So that part of it felt a little bit clunky. I'm sure it'll get cleaned up later at some point. I don't know what their priorities are for early access yet. But yeah, so that was one thing that was a little weird. The other thing that is kind of annoying is that the escape key doesn't actually close menus. It just always loads the pause menu / save menu. It's not the worst thing ever. There's actually a good number of games that do this, but typically those are games that don't have a bunch of dialog boxes that pop up. Because this one does have a bunch of dialog boxes that pop up all the time. If you're used to using escape to get out of those, that is going to be a little annoying as you unlearn that particular game tick. But I mean, really, these are all minor little nitpicks that are not really that important to the overall enjoyment of the game. So really, this is a game about chill exploration, discovery, and building things. So if those are things that appeal to you, I feel like this game is going to fit right into your game library. The one thing is that because progression is so chill, I could definitely see this game kind of taking forever to finish, just because you're gonna put it, pick it up, play for a couple hours, and then put it down and play whatever it is that your main game is for the rest of the time. Yeah, so I see this as sort of a downtime game, but yeah, no, it's great. I really enjoyed it. The other thing I wanted to mention real fast is that the price is perfect, because it's just I think it's like $14, something like that. And right now you can pick it up on sale on Steam, so it's a little bit less than that. If you own the other game on the bundle, then you can pick it up for just over $11. But yeah, I think it's a great addition. I am definitely going to spend some more time with this as I get the time, and I'm looking forward to finding out more of the story. I hope you have a good one, and thank you for watching. Until the next one.